Today on Deer Farming TV, I had the chance to go over and help another deer farm. We had to dart a few deer, do some tests. Let's get started. One of the closest deer farms to me actually belongs to my old high school principal, Chub Clemens. Chub lives on about 300 acres, and he's always been aggressive in his deer management. He's always planted food plots and had supplemental feed year-round. But several years ago, he just got fed up and got tired of the neighbors reaping all his hard work and killing his deer. So he put in a high fence.
This property here has been in our family for a number of years, since I was a young man. And we've always tried to manage and grow some good deer on it. We've had a supplemental feeding program going for a number of years. Most of the good bucks that we have on the property, I usually end up getting to see a picture of them where a neighbor harvested the deer somewhere else. Having only 300 acres, that's an issue you run into. So my son-in-law and I decided that we would high fence our property. In order to be able to afford to do that, we decided that we'd do the work ourselves. And we bought the materials and started to work, clearing our right-of-ways, and we ended up taking about 4 years to do it, but we fenced the entire 300 acres. As a result of that, we harvested all the deer we could off the property during regular season hunting, and then we bought some bred does, and we fixed a couple of pens, breeder pens. We had some bred does, and our intention was to release some good breeding stock into this 300 acres.
This is Chub's second year just to have his breeder permits, and we all know in Texas what happened with the CWD, with the new rules. So Chub's getting ready to release some deer. Well, we got to go in there, get some deer darted, and get them tested.
Well, about that time, CWD came along, which changed the whole ball game. You know, you can't release, you've got to test. So many rules and regulations come into play that's affected our herd. This morning we've had Dr. Grant from Ward Animal Hospital out here this morning doing live testing, and we opted that we have 7 mature deer, 6 does and a buck. We opted to test all 7.
Chub asked me to come over and run the dart gun. He knew his deer really well, and his deer are really docile. He knew when we walked into the pens, he thought for sure we may get 1 darted, maybe 2 darted before they figured out what was going on, and that's exactly what happened. We got 2 darted real quick, and Chub had a ground blind set up for me. I got in that ground blind, and Chub just walked around the pen and kept pushing those deer to me. It was just a few minutes. We had all the deer on the ground. In Chub's second pen, he had a breeder buck. It's a 3-year-old. Back when the deer was in velvet, he damaged his rack, and we were going to dart him and test him while we had him down, and Chub wanted to cut his antlers off. It only took about an hour to get everything darted, tested, reversed. We moved some deer around in some pens. We got everything organized for Chub. The point is, if you have an opportunity, help a fellow deer farmer out. I guarantee you they'll appreciate it.
And we've sent the results off. Hopefully that we're going to be able to release into our site after we get the test result back on those deer. So that's just what you have to go through nowadays in order to try to get some good genetics on your property.